Hey, everybody, it's Dave Fingers here with my good friend, Kyle Grivette, President and CEO of 3ACLEAN. And Kyle, we've known each other for quite some time, and you're probably the happiest guy I know. You're always smiling. You're always positive, upbeat. I love that about you. And you've got a successful business. You've had a very successful business for quite a number of years now. So one of the questions I have for you is, what's the one thing you wish you had known when you began your career?
And I think that even if I would have known this, I would have still done it anyway. You never realize how hard it's going to be. I hadn't even reached my 25th birthday yet when I got into my own gig. It's not easy,
Yeah.
And I didn't have all of the things that most of the pundits say that you should have. You got to have this business plan. You got to have this. You got to have your financing lined up. Well, I didn't have any of that. But you know what I did have? I had customers. I had
That helps.
I had customers lined up before we opened the doors. I had already done my footwork. I already had people willing to pay. And that's what I always say. That's the number one most important thing to all budding entrepreneurs. Get somebody that's willing to pay you.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's, if I would have known it was as hard as it was, I probably would have done it anyway because I'm a blockhead.
You answered my next question. If you'd have known how hard it was going to be, would you have done it? Would you have done it the same way?
Absolutely. I would have done it. I would do it again. And, maybe I would have done some things different. I'm 60 years old now, so I've been at this thing for 35 plus years on my own and in the same industry for 37 and a half. So, yeah, I would do it again. I love doing what I do.
Cool. Well, what are some of the best resources that have helped you along the way?
The first resource that really inspired me to do it was Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Great book.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, right now I've got the Audible and I'm getting ready to go through it the second time, is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, which the transcript was written in 1939 and it didn't get published until 2011. And if you listen to that, it is amazing how closely it resembles what's going on in our society today.
Is that right?
Yeah. But, and then the other resources that really helped was I had a number of people that were willing to mentor me. My uncle always has been a mentor to me, and he's an international consultant. So he was always willing to share. He shared a bunch of cassette tapes, like with Dennis Waitley, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. So I had all of those types of resources, but I ran into people all over the place. And as I would talk to them about what I was doing, they would say, can I offer you this piece of advice? And it's like, yeah, that would be great. I'm listening. And one of the people that did that for me was when I moved into my first office, it was in 1991, it was in 1990, the end of 1990. But the guy that had the office right next door to mine, his name was Bill O'Connor, and he was the owner of 4 Jack in the Box restaurants, but he also controlled a number more through 2 different groups where he was the 60% owner of 2 different groups. Mm-hmm. So he controlled a pretty big section of the Jack in the Box.
So he was the jumbo Jack.
Yes, that's right. But Bill would take me out to lunch almost every day. And he let me pay for lunch one time. I bet I dined with that guy 250 times or more. And, he and I would have the greatest conversations. He had been on the periphery of my industry. He had been in the Jan-San. He was a supplier before he got out of that and into the Jack in the Box business. But one of the things that he always said was, you can't let your receivables get the best of you. One of the reasons he got out of the Jan-San business was because he said he had 8 Cadillacs sitting in the file cabinet, and the 8 Cadillacs were his receivables. He says, now they pay me for the sandwich before I give it to them.
There you go.
So I had a number of people like that helped me, and the human resources are the best to me.
Right. Absolutely. So I have one more question, but before I get to that, I want to go back to Think and Grow Rich. I think the best thing that I took out of Think and Grow Rich, and I'm kind of summarizing, but what Napoleon Hill said, that the most successful people that he talked to when he wrote the book had in common is they thought about their business for at least 20 minutes a day. They thought about what it was going to look like, what they wanted to do. And so they visualized it, right? So there is power in that. So, all right, one last question. Given that it's Thanksgiving week, and it's been we'll say for most people, it's been a challenging year, but what are you thankful for this year in 2020?
What I'm thankful for is that, I guess I'm an extrovert. I think that almost anybody that would come into contact with me would know that. But I have enough of an introvert that since we've been on lockdown and limited contact with people, I've taken it upon myself to evaluate all of the things that are going on in my life. I've taken stock of my health. I'm healthier now than I was 9 months ago. My weight is down substantially. I'm stronger than I was. My diet is, better than it was. I'm grateful for whatever you want to call this thing, but because I've been by myself enough, I've been able to think more internally about myself and what's important to me. And there are a number of things that when this is all over, and I'm guessing at some point it's all going to be over and we're going to go back to business and being around people regularly, there are things that I won't do. I will continue on this path. My family is very important to me. My loved ones are important to me. My health is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna stay doing what I'm doing now instead of jumping back into the frying pan, because some of the stuff that I did was to make other people feel good. And I like making people feel good, but you know what? It's got to be about me and mine. What's right for the business, what's right for my family, what's right for me. And in studying certain things in the Korean philosophy, it's called honik. And honik is what's good for me has to be good for you. And if it's good for you, it's got to be good for me. And what I did was I did a lot of things that were good for other people, not so good for me. So
yeah.
I know that was a longer answer than you wanted.
Okay. That's sage advice. I'm grateful for our friendship. So thank you.
Yes, and I am absolutely grateful for our friendship. And that weekend that we spend together every year at the Stonewash is one of my cherished weekends every year. So I love that about what we have as personal friends, you and I, and the group that we have every year at that event.
Yeah, same here. Well, thanks again for carving out time. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, my friends. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Absolutely, Dave. Thank you for everything, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And and congratulations on you and Anna deciding to tie the knot. I can't wait.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, my friend. Have a great week.
Adios.